Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. So we have had a ×10 drop really early in the week. So I'm throwing it out there today because just to give you the heads up really, but this is good effort I think again. So Plarium seem to be dropping now, these ×10s, these ×2s, all that sort of stuff in line with the events that are coming up. So when this champion chase goes live in 23 hours now, there's going to be a ×10 in relation to it. So why do I like that? It's because it gives us two things that we're doing with our shards at the same time. Now, you know, it's still up to you if you want to pull your shards. Are you heavily invested in going for this Creeler? Do you think you can get her or not? That's one question you've got to ask yourself. If you think you can get her anyway, then it might be that you decide to pull your shards. There will not be, so there's not going to be any additional percentage chance to get a champion, like a legendary or whatever. It will just be if you pull if you pull an epic or a legendary, then there's 10 times chance you're going to get this epic or this legendary versus the other ones in the pool. So let's go through them. I'll tell you what, it's a pretty exciting set and I will be pulling shards. 100% I'm going to be pulling shards for this. So let's start with the epics. The epics for me are less interesting because I don't really need epics anymore on my main account. If I think about this from my free-to-play account, the epics are pretty good, I'd say. So first one is Vrask, or Vrask, if you're not chosen. Vrask is, I'd say he's mid to low tier. He's not somebody that I would care that much about getting, albeit if I got him on my free-to-play, I wouldn't kick him out of bed, but I don't feel like he's going to go on there and change too much up. I wonder if he might even be one of the epics that's going to be updated in September patch 2.2. Just while I'm talking about that, we've had confirmation there's going to be between 30 and 35 champions that are being changed in September 2.2. Pretty big news. So this guy has got some champion turn meter fill on his A1, and he does a bit more damage if you book him out. He's got just a harder hit on his A2, but actually you just kind of want him to A1 the whole time. You do not want to book out -1 cooldown here, because you just want him to A1 all the time because he fills his turn meter every time he A1s, and he still does the same type of heal, and the passive is where the heal comes in. So heals all allies by 10% of his max HP when he does a crit. So you stack his HP up high, you get his crit rate up to 100, and then he's constantly just healing. But if I'm honest, he cannot heal enough to sustain like a clan boss team. So he's not strong enough to put in your clan boss team. Therefore, he's only really got place for me in like dungeons as an off healer, or I mean faction wars is actually pretty good, but other than that, no good. So I wouldn't be super excited if I pulled him. Next one up is someone on my free-to-play account that I would be pretty excited to pull. I think you're here. Yeah. So we've got Steel Skull. I mean, Steel Skull for a long time was widely thought of as the poisoner to go to for clan boss for a long time. He's kind of been a bit outdone now since Occult Brawler and Frozen Banshee both put out so much poison. But he becomes a very good off poisoner stroke healer. So he's got an A1 which can proc twice. Each time has got a chance to proc a 5% poison. So if you book it up to 35%, he can lay a decent amount of poison. He cannot sustain all the poison needed for clan boss on his own. But he does also bring a cleanse on his A2, so this can cleanse off a stun. He'll only really do it on manual. On auto, he prefers to cleanse off like one poison tick or something like that. He's a bit dumb on auto. But he does a big heal and a cleanse, and he's also got an increased defense and a team heal on his A3. So all of this is good. Faction Crypt, Defense Aura, I do use him for that actually, and really good base stats, apart from his base defense, which is a little low. But Poisoner, healer, good utility champ. Yeah, he's a good champion. Really good. You won't be upset if you pull yourself a Steel Skull. So third one on the list then is Doom Priest. Yeah. So I recently did a guide on Doom Priest. I'll ping it above if you want to check it out. She is the easiest champ to level and get into your team to deal with clan boss affinity changes. If you make her go the fastest runner on your team, so that this kicks in before anyone else has a turn. So basically, heals all allies by 7.5%. That's not enough as a healing mechanic to just keep you healed up against clan boss, but otherwise it's kind of nice to top off. But removes 1 random debuff from the start of this champion's turn. It's a brilliant, brilliant ability, guys. So this is insanely strong for Faction Wars. It's really, really good for Clan Boss. It's very good for Dragon as well. As I said, I did a guide recently. I totally rate her. She's also got an increased attack ability on her A2. This means she becomes very viable for Spider if you're running Ultimate Gaelic and you need to get his HP burn off. She can also go in as a Spider tank. She's got quite good base stats. Her A1's kind of here nor there, really. And she does bring a speed in all battles aura, but only for Force champions. So it's kind of too niche to really count on. But all in all, very good epic. And you won't be upset if you pull yourself a Doom Priest. So the last one in the epic category then is a champion that I've got a lot of love for. Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? What is she? Yeah, Sacred Order. So if you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to post a link in a pinned comment to a video that Manable Gaming has just done. It actually, we was talking about it on Content Creator Chat yesterday. So I did a video back in February using Cardinal in the arena. I didn't do it in the same way that Manable's done it in his video that I'm going to link, but Cardinal is going to be coming back to the forefront of the arena. Manable's found a really cool kind of way to use her to kind of counter some of those hedgy type teams. And she's got this A3. It's what she's all about. She's got an A3 which revives all dead allies, heals them a little bit, and boosts their turn meter to max. Now, the word max is what's important here because basically what it means is she makes everybody else in your team have a go when she revives them. So you can actually put 3 absolute nuke champions in your arena team with Cardinal. As long as Cardinal stays alive, she boosts their turn meter to max. All of those nukers then go and one-shot the enemy. It's a very cool tactic. I'd stopped using it because of people like Foley, people like Rotus who block revive. But Manable's video showed a slightly different take on a similar technique. And I'm definitely going to be getting mine out, dusting her off, and trying the type of build that Manable did. I'll probably do a similar video, but props to Manable for getting it out there early because it's a really cool build. So I'll link that below. Check that out. But Cardinal is arena top tier now, I'd say. She was top tier before. She kind of sat in the vaults for a while, and I think she's top tier again. So very cool. Let's get into the legendaries then. Is it worth pulling your legendary shards for? So let's look at the 2 non-voids to start with. So we've got an undead in Skartorsis. Now, Skartorsis is, I've got mixed opinions on him, okay? He's got really, really high base stats across the board, really high. High defense, high HP, high speed. He's actually got low attack and all of his skills are based off attack. But he's got a good multiplier on his A1. So you can actually bust him up with a ton of attack and he can go into your blender comp and he will do a ton of work in a blender comp if you push his attack up high. So don't discount him for other stuff like that. He's actually in my food processor arena video where I kind of have a look at various different blender compositions. So he's definitely viable for that. But just as a general utility champ, speed in dungeons, and it's massive, 33%. A1, which can steal a random buff. You can actually book this up to 50% chance. And he steals from every enemy. Really good in Faction Wars. Very cool for the arena. If you put a mastery on, which gives him a chance to counterattack. If you put him in something like a taunt set in the arena with that counterattack mastery, I tell you what, he is solid. You could build him as an absolute tank that's constantly counterattacking, stealing buffs, taunting up, stunning up. Depends whatever set you want to put on him, but he can be really, really brutal. Also got increased attack, increased crit rate for your team, and he's got a cleanse for the whole team and a turn meter fill for the whole team. So this ability here is kind of clutch. I used to build him in a frenzy set. Basically, let him take a bunch of damage, cleanse your whole team off, and then your team gets to go first, which is kind of cool old tactic. But yeah, really good champion and tons of utility. I'd say Faction Wars, Dungeons and Arena, he's good in all of those, but mainly Faction Wars and Dungeons. So good champion. Let's look at the next one then. We've got, I think she's Sacred Order. No, Bannerlords, is she? Bannerlords, yeah, Sethalia. So Sethalia, I mean, she's got crazy good base stats. Good champion, HP burn here, which is okay. It's kind of like a clan boss tactic, I guess. She's got a cleanse here from one ally, then puts block debuffs on them for 2 turns, and heals that ally by 75% of their max HP. Heals all other allies and fills their turn meter if the target is fully healed. So I tell you what, this is just fantastic for Spider. So if your Spider tank has got a bunch of poisons on them, she cleanses all those poisons off, replaces the poisons with block debuffs, and fills turn meter for everyone else. Really cool ability. Also good in Dragons and Arena. So actually, she's just generally a good champ. Also on her A3, you can put it down to 3 turns and up to 100%. Chance of removing all buffs from all enemies. Kind of like Madame Cerise-like. Then decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 10%. And fills turn meters of all allies by 10%. So it's like a 10% swing each way, yeah? Decreases the turn meters of all enemies by 20% and fills your turn meter by 20% if 5 or more buffs were removed. So in that sense, it's a 40% swing. It's actually huge. I see her a lot now in the 3v3 arena setups, and she's got base stats to kind of go with it. So again, better champion than most people give her credit for. So good champion. So let's get onto the voids then. And these are 2 heavyweight voids. 2 absolute heavyweights. We're going to start with one that I really want. This is what I'm pulling my shards for, Raglin. Raglin was literally the best champion in the arena before Rotus turned up. Before Rotus and Sifi turned up. And they kind of broke the game a bit. But she was single-handedly the best champion for arena. Certainly mainly for arena defense. Because of this A3, you need 1 book to land here, and she's got a 2-turn revive an ally with a full turn meter. 2 turn. The difference with this and Cardinal, by the way, is see the difference in language. So in this instance, they get a full turn meter. In the Cardinal terminology, they get a max turn meter. The difference there is that a max turn meter will always go first. A full turn meter will not always go first. There is a slight difference. Still, it's an insane ability. She's also got a 3-hitter here with some turn meter fill on her A1. Can be cool for clan boss, can be cool just generally for utility. And she's got removes all debuffs on all allies. So full cleanse, then a heal, and heal's proportional to her attack. The heal being proportional to her attack's kind of okay because her base attack's good, but you probably would build her quite tanky, quite high resistance, and then get a bit of attack in there. Defense in all battles as well. She's absolutely solid as a champion. I really like her build, and I don't feel like she's overpowered. This is very low cooldown, but she doesn't bring tons more that is like overpowered. But when there was not such a kind of block revive meta going on, she was insane because the speed she picked someone up was almost impossible to deal with. It was ridiculous. So it leads me to my last champion, and I do have this champion already. But he is top tier. Literally top tier. I remember when I pulled him and I was in chat. I didn't know who he was actually when I pulled him. I was in chat and I was like, guys, you got this Warlord, is he any good? And everyone was like, whoa, he's so good. You're unbelievable. Best champion in the game. And this was a long time ago. He's not best champion in the game, but I tell you what, he's damn right up there as one of the best. Anybody who plays the arena seriously and wails out and stuff will be wailing out for this guy. I'm sure of it. Anybody who is struggling with clan boss and just wants that added support will pull shards for this guy. And anyone who's struggling with any dungeon content in the game or faction war content, if you get him, he's going to be massively beneficial to you. He's insanely good. So why is he so good? We've got an A1, which has got that Vizier type increase all debuffs on a target. It's nowhere near the power of Vizier's one, okay? So when I ran Warlord, before I had a Vizier, before I had all the kind of champs I got now, I had to manual. So I was manualing all the time to try and get this to proc as often as possible. Even booked, it's 40% chance to land, and you'll be surprised how often a 40% chance to land doesn't land when you want it to land. So this is good. When you get a roll of it, it's insane, and you're like, wow, these debuffs are never going to drop off. But it's very possible that you don't get a roll of it. So for clan boss, this is really good, and this is the strongest in clan boss. Outside of clan bosses, it isn't as good, but it's still okay. A2 then, this is brilliant. So places a big old shield equal to 30% of his HP for 2 turns. So it's not up there with miscreating monster shields, but it's up there as one of the best shield abilities in the game. Because at the same time, he restores 25% of his allies' health. So you've got a heal of 25% and a shield of 30% of his health. Often that's enough to completely top someone up and some. Places a block debuffs buff on on all allies, for 1 turn as well. Insane. In the arena, you get your block debuffs up, you get your shields up, and then you're pretty much laughing at people for the rest of the fight. So very cool ability here. But this is what he's so good for in the arena. And faction wars, actually. So attacks all enemies with his A3. 70% chance, when booked is 100, to put each target's skills on cooldown. Everybody, if you've got enough, and you need accuracy for this to land, if you've got enough accuracy in your builds, he will completely lock out everybody's skill. All skills. All they'll be doing is coming at you with A1s. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant, brilliant ability. Also, at the same time, if booked out, it becomes a 60% chance to drop everyone's turn meter to 0. It's mental. It's actually mental. So he needs accuracy for this to work. I use my one now in the arena. If I can get him to go quick and go before the enemy, so my Arbiter goes, then he goes, then I've locked out the enemy for the whole fight and I can't lose. Pretty much can't lose. So great ability. Also good for something like spiders, drop turn meter. Also good for Fire Knights, drop turn meter. But for the arena is where this is at. So very cool champion. One of my favourite champions that I own in the game. So guys, look, this is a ×10. I like the way they've done it in line with the champion chase. It's also running right through till Monday. So I guess, is the champion chase running through till Monday? I guess it has to be. Can't see from here. I could see from the other thing. I'm pretty sure it is. So good effort. Good luck if you're going to pull shards. I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you later.